All right, how's it going, guys? I know it's been a while. Apparently, the commentary community is completely imploding on itself with multiple different dramas happening. And honestly, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm just here. But that being said, I want to talk about something that's really important. Okay, this is life changing. This is so important. This is going to determine the future of our world, which is talking about how shitty the fucking ending for My Hero Academia was. That was god awful. And I'm speaking as someone who has been reading the series since it came out. Back in high school for me, back when a lot of mangas were coming out. In fact, it was My Hero and Shokugeki no Soma that I picked up primarily because of their art. Now, if you read Shokugeki no Soma, shut the fuck up, okay? You don't need to fucking reveal what I was reading back then, all right, you bitch. That being said, no, the artwork was great. Shokugeki no Soma had some great points at the beginning, particularly around the main character being very different than what was coming out during the time. I was kind of sick and tired of all of these main characters being like goody two shoes people who are like, I want to help people because I'm a good guy. Like I think the pinnacle for this was Shiro from Fate Stay Night. Fucking hate that guy. He's so dumb. Like, I know he has like the whole like character arc where he understands that he has to like sacrifice things in order to like save people, yada yada yada. I get it. That being said, I fucking hate those characters with a passion, at least back in that time. I think I might have warmed up to it primarily because the time period around manga and anime at that point was very like Sword Art Online, just people who were like just innately good people that never did anything for selfish reasons. And I'm like, that's not how people work. And so that's why I really like Shokugeki no Soma. And then you got My Hero, which funnily enough had the same kind of deal, but the artwork was so good that I was like, damn, you know what, fuck it, we ball. Now, obviously, I think My Hero had a very strong start at the beginning. You had, of course, the school festival, the sports festival arc, which was really well done. And ultimately, I think the beginning of My Hero was really, really well done. In fact, I enjoyed every single arc of My Hero all the way up to the war. And I really liked the war, right? The Lemillion reveal. I remember reading that. I was like, damn, that was such a cool way to reveal that he has his powers back. And then after that, it just was terrible. It was awful. Now, there's a lot of reasons we can get into it, like on why it was so bad. The one point that I really wanted to touch on why I felt like My Hero kind of just basically went off the deep end was how they ruined All for One. And with him ruining All for One, also ruined Shigaraki as a villain. So I think one of the interesting aspects of My Hero that really no other series has done so far, or at least like no like mainline shonen series, is have a villain that's very like authentically sympathetic, right? So Shigaraki already, even though he is a murdering psychopath, you understand where he comes from. He had a horrible situation, and of course, no heroes decide to help him out. The only person that helped him out was the main bad guy of the entire series. That was the only person who was willing to help out this child and take him under his wing and treat him like a son. And I think that's one of the things that was really great about All for One. He wasn't this insane bad guy who was like, I'm going to throw away my subordinate as soon as he messes up. No, he's like, no, Tomura, you're my kid, basically. Like, you can mess up, you can fuck up, doesn't matter. I'm always going to be there to bail you out. I'm going to be there to fix what you couldn't be able to do. And it's okay. It's okay. I want you to learn. And it's basically like him grooming Tomura to become the ultimate villain. And he's like, this is my kind of like farewell to the world. I'm going to create this person who carries my will to the next generation. And then, of course, they fucked it up because instead of him being like a very caring like father who's also like a murderous psychopath, they're like, no, he wanted Shigaraki just for his body. He wanted Tomura just for his body. Like he even gave Tomura his last name, Shigaraki. That's All For One's last name. So again, it was literally like, I'm adopting this guy, I'm adopting this child, but instead of being like, oh yeah, I genuinely want him to be a better villain than me, he's like, no, I'm going to steal his body. That was the only reason I took care of this guy. I wanted his body, and also I can make copies of my quirk and shit. Okay, all right. And then to make it even worse, you had the reveal. So spoilers for anyone who hasn't caught up with the manga. So you can cut out of this part. It turns out that All For One orchestrated the whole, like, him killing his family. Like, what the fuck? I know it's supposed to be like the big reveal. It's like, oh my god, he's even more evil than we thought. Oh my god. But it didn't come off like that. It came off like, okay, so like Shigaraki turned from like this person who is understandably angry at the world because he was never like taken care of when he was needed the most, and the person who decided to step up and do that for him was a villain. So for Shigaraki, his superhero, his All Might, is All For One. It's like an inversion of the Deku All Might dynamic here. So instead of that, no, Shigaraki is just a victim, just like everyone else. All For One's just that evil. He's just an evil, evil guy. And then, of course, Deku has to save Shigaraki. It was a fucking stupid way to go about it. It was dumb. It was horrible. I don't know why they decided to do that. I mean, I do know why, because Hoshikori wanted Deku to save Shigaraki at the end, right? Because the whole thing about Deku is that he wants to save people, and he's going to save Shigaraki. And then we get to the ending. We get to the ending that didn't resolve anything. You had the entire Uraka's side plot of her like being in love with Deku doesn't go anywhere. You have the Todoroki family. It was resolved in like one panel with Endeavor. Like, he's like, Todoroki's not even referred to as Endeavor's son anymore. Okay, all right, cool. What happened to the rest of the family? What happened to just... Okay, all right. And then, of course, you have nothing mentioned about the big three or Eri, because last time we saw Eri, she broke her horn off, and, they said that was going to cause some major damage. We don't know what that is. We don't know what the major damage is. They never said it. Great. Wonderful. And then you have just Deku absolutely fucked at the end. He doesn't have his powers. He's just a teacher at UA. That's it. What, like, and then of course the best fucking part, at the beginning of the story, you know how Deku is like, this is the story of how I became the greatest hero ever. Yeah, they changed it to, this is the story of how we became the greatest heroes ever. Just what the fuck, dude? It was just fucking awful. Like, if you're going to give me anything, like, at least end the story how you said you're going to end. And this is giving me some flashbacks to like my strongest or history's strongest disciple, Kenichi. It gives me flashbacks to that, of how they ended that story, where it's like, no, just it ends. You don't see his progression to become like a powerful master. You don't even see any of the like other side characters at the very end. It just cuts off there, and it shows a picture of him married to Mew, and that's it. It's like, what the fuck is this? Come on, guys. Just do better. Like, I understand that mangakas are under a lot of time constraint, and sometimes the creative decisions that they make aren't really theirs, it's their editors. And I know My Hero had some issues with or Hoshikori had some issues with this editor during the creation of My Hero. That being said, come on, this is just terrible. This is just awful, man. I really hope he gets a do-over, like how Bleach got a do-over with what's his name? It's not Kobe. Oh God, I forgot his name. But yeah, he got a do-over with Bleach with the 100 Years War. So hopefully we get to see some kind of fix to this, please.